everyone, David the Wolf Boy here. I'm here because I just listened to episode 0 and episode 1 of Sonic Presents the Chaotix Casefiles, which is a brand new narrative podcast set within the world of Sonic the Hedgehog. I listened to them in two different ways. I watched them as they were uploaded onto YouTube, and I also joined Spotify so I could listen to the podcast on there too. Another podcast I've been listening to on Spotify that I just started was Avatar Braving the Elements, which is the voice of Korra and the voice of Zuko talking about all things Avatar The Last Airbender. But anyway, Sonic Presents the Chaotix Casefiles. You can listen to them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Pandora. And if you don't have any of those, it's all on YouTube, so no one has to pay a buck or a dime for it. If that's how the saying goes. But let's just say buck and a dime. That works just fine. So, the Chaotix, Vector, Espio, and Charmy are known for being detectives, kind of like Jessica Jones in her respective Marvel series of the same name, and she's going to be returning in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and I can't fucking wait. So, yes, this is in the style of 1940s radio dramas. Like, I think there was one called The Whistler. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on just one bloody moment. I know there were radio dramas back in the day. Yep, there is a radio series called The Whistler that ran from 1942 to 1955. So, let's see here. I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak. And each episode of The Whistler began with the sound of footsteps and a person whistling. So, if anyone were to reboot The Whistler as a podcast, I would be the perfect candidate. And I use that 5-note whistle code to taunt my friends, because, according to those guys, I am a show-off with whistling, but anyway, enough about that. The Chaotix Casefiles. Episode 0 is a 10-minute introductory episode, which shows off what we're in for with the Chaotix Detective Agency, and all the shenanigans they go through. Like, you could actually close your eyes and picture these characters in their scenarios, and it's even perfect to listen to when you're driving in the car to work or vacation or just seeing friends or just driving to the movie theater to see Sam Raimi's new film Send Help. But yes, episode 0 is called Chaotix Are on the Case, and there is this theme song that plays at the end of the episode, which is so damn catchy. It was even written by Rebecca Sugar from Steven Universe. Rebecca Sugar's songs are just very chill and puts you in a better mood and just relieves all stress. Like, one of my favorite songs from Rebecca Sugar as of recently was called Ice Water. Hang on. When did Ice Water... Yeah, Ice Water by Rebecca Sugar. She just uploaded it a few months ago. And it is by far gorgeous. So, the same person who wrote Ice Water also wrote the theme for Chaotix Casefiles. I don't care what happens to me, I just want art and music and you. Ice water spilling into my shoes and we're skipping home from Union Square. Don't care what happens to me, just want art and beauty and truth. The dawn is breaking and I don't care, it turns the silver buildings Blue. Yeah, I can't sing it as well as Rebecca Sugar can, but yeah, you get what I mean. But yes, the Chaotix are on the case. We have Vector the Crocodile, Espio the Chameleon, and Charmy B as the Chaotix Detective Agency. So it starts with Vector doing a narrating detective voice. Are you Detective Pikachu? Oh, he does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika. Yes, and Tails is also a detective in the point-and-click Steam game, The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. So, and also Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out mystery, which I just watched on Netflix back in December, and it is a damn good movie. Probably one of my favorite Netflix movies next to K-Pop Demon Hunters. And we see that Vector loves bubblegum ice cream, and we don't know if Espio is lactose intolerant, but when they try to get some ice cream after fighting off a Buzz Bomber and meeting up with Sonic, or Sonic meeting up with them in their HQ, Vector and Sonic get captured, and then we get into the first episode. Episode 0 was merely a 10-minute introduction, while Episode 1 was a 25-minute full-length episode. So, it is called The Case of the Two-Faced Thief. So, they are investigating a museum robbery where an artifact is stolen, and the suspect looks like Knuckles. Knuckles the Echidna, or Jackass the Echidna. And now they're on the case. Charmy makes a bad joke about beelining it to some place. And Charmy is kind of a bumbling idiot. And Vector and Espio are like, what are we gonna do with that sumbitch? And so, Gunn is involved in the museum heist theft. And the curator is named Mr. Kitsch. I think he's an original character created specifically for this podcast. So, yes. Begins with Sonic and Vector, captured by Eggman and locked in cages. And the artifact they're looking for is Astroscopic Lens, which has something to do with Sonic Unleashed and some lady from Spagonia University named Victoria, I want to say? Professor Victoria, yeah. I'm looking at the Sonic Wiki page and following along. Yes, they defeated the Buzz Bomber and they're having ice cream. And with Vector, what's your Vector? What's your Vector, Victor? I am channeling my inner Leslie Nielsen with these bloopers. Good God! Vector likes bubblegum ice cream. And Charmy just chases a butterfly. I can't do a Charmy voice for shit, so I would imagine that if I were to cast Charmy again in my projects, I would cast the current voice of Tails, since Tails and Charmy are both voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy. So, why spiders? Why couldn't it be fun of the butterflies? Oh God! That voice not only doesn't fit Tails, but it fits Charmy less! So, yes, they have the ice cream, and they hear about theft at a museum, and Knuckles is framed. Or somebody who looks like Knuckles stole the artifact, and the Guardian Units of Nations, or GUN, are leading the investigation. Oh, how funny, because Jessica Jones is a private investigator, and Kristen Ritter, actress who plays Jessica Jones, plays Director Rockwell in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. So, yes! So they head in there, and then they meet the curator, Mr. Kitsch, who says, "You could have knocked, you dinguses." And, yes. So they try to interrogate Knuckles, but how do they get up there? By using a choppy helicopter the Chaotix copter. And Vector doesn't even have a pilot's license, and they crash land on Angel Island because it ends in disaster. So, yes. It's a very crappy helicopter. So, I can't really do a Vector the Crocodile voice, but I'm gonna wing it here. Run! Go! Get to the chopper! Okay, that did not sound like Vector at all. Asking me to do impressions on the spot is harder than it sounds. So they meet up with Knuckles. Okay, I gotta stop laughing at that awful Vector impression. Find the computer room. Get to the chopper. Okay, that's slightly better, but I am not going to voice Vector in the Sonic and Chaotix series. So, let's see here. They have a photo of the astroscopic lens, but Knuckles seems to give no shits about it. And then Knuckles says, "Fuck you guys, I'm out of here." And then they head back to their office. They reach out to Tails for help, since Tails is also voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy. And Tails already knows about the theft in the museum. And then a professor from Spagonia University arrives. And Spagonia University, canon to the Sonic and Chaotix universe, David the Wolf actually went to Spagonia University, while Sonic went to Mobotropolis University, and Mobotropolis University is where the Golden Eagles base is located. So, Professor Victoria arrives, and she specializes in ancient artifacts and relics from the Second Great Civilization, also known as the Gaia Civilization, so Sonic Unleashed. So, there's a bunch of references to games in this podcast. There's Sonic Unleashed, there's Knuckles Chaotix, and there's so much more. And also Shadow the Hedgehog with Find the Computer Room. So Professor Victoria confirms that the stolen artifact is the astroscopic lens. And she also provides a new lead and another recent artifact theft by Rouge the Bat. Because Rouge is a jewel thief, and it's only fitting that her DCX Sonic cosplay is Catwoman, because Catwoman Selena Kyle is a jewel thief like Rouge. And then more cliffhanger ending with Sonic and Vector being captured by Eggman. And yeah, that's it. So far, I like the direction where this podcast is going. The theme music is catchy as hell. There's so many saxophones. There's lots of very comedic moments that I had a good chuckle with. And I like how they told the story with an audio drama or a narrative podcast. And it's bringing back 1940s radio shows before we have iconic television programs like Doctor Who and Star Trek and I Love Lucy. Lucy, I'm home. Yeah, I Love Lucy, Bewitched, The Brady Bunch, before all that. Yes. Well, Vox, it looks like Alistair the Radio Demon has won yet again. Oh, really now? We're doing Has-Been Hotel impressions? Why don't you fuck right off, Alistair? No one asks your opinion, Sir Pentious. kinky. Are you fucking filming us right now? Okay, those are my impressions of Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss characters. But, yes. But I'm very pleased with Sonic Presents the Chaotix Casefiles Episodes 0 and 1 so far. I'm gonna make more videos like this, talking about future episodes to come for this podcast. So, it's on all available podcast platforms, even on YouTube, for those who don't have Spotify. But yeah, if you have listened or watched the episode 0 and 1 of Sonic Presents Chaotix Casefiles, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. You can include spoilers if you want, or you can leave it entirely spoiler-free. It's up to you. But with that said, we'll see you all next time. Goodbye!